hope you had fun with your leaves. You certainly looked like you did. And today we're going to be doing a bloom. So you can choose whatever bloom you would like, whatever tickles your fancy. I'm choosing this one here. You can see which one I've chosen. And I'm going to ink it up with our amalgam ink and try not to get it everywhere. So let's ink up here. Okie dokes. All right, so let's press down like this. Now you can see again, I'm going to do exactly the same thing and dry it with my heat tool. Again, you can leave it to dry naturally. It's just a lot quicker with a heat tool. Let's wipe some of this off. So I'm just looking for it to go matte. Someone asked what my favourite heat tool was, and I really struggled with that answer. I love the Wagner. They've now redesigned it. They sent me a new version of it, which is super cool. There's the Ranger Heat It, which is slightly different. I use that mainly for my watercolours. There's the Wow one, which is great too. So it's really, again, personal preference. And I have a video on the channel about different heat tools if you're interested in checking that one out. Okay, so we're dry. So we're going to do the same as yesterday. And it really is the same thing. And the reason I want you to try this out, and I've totally put the wrong caps on here. I'm looking at this going, something's not right. Here we go, blend. So I really want you to try this out because this is where you're going to find when we get onto paper the day after tomorrow, you're going to then find the colouring so much easier if you put in the prep work. So the same way that I taught you about flicking and we did a few different days of that, then you're going to find this much easier. And I know lots of you loved the effect you got with those leaves on the vellum because it is a bit like working with Yupo, and you totally can use alcohol inks on vellum if you work quickly. It will dry quicker than Yupo, but you do get some really fun techniques, and you can make backgrounds with these alcohol markers. So we're going to do the same thing, one petal at a time. So take your lightest shade, and I know it's super light on here, but I want you to take your lightest shade, just like this. So this is the 373. Maybe colour in a couple of petals because you do have a little bit longer to work on here, and colour in everything, so the gaps. When we're working on our paper, we're not going to colour as many because we don't have as long to work. And then you're going to take your mid shade, which is your 374, and flick. And it's also not going to blend as easily for you, which is why I really want you to work on your flicks. And we're going to flick from the centre. And then I also want you to add like a little wiggly line around the edge of your petal. Just a little one. And I also want you to this time just take your dark shade and add smaller flicks in that centre. And maybe on some petals, not on all, add a little bit of colour. Maybe like in that centerpiece. Then we're going to go back to our mid shade, because I'm kind of being a little bit lazy on this one because I can. I want you to flick out that darker shade that we just put in the center. And then I want you to go to your lightest shade and blend out that mid shade to the edge. And then I want you to look back, sit back, and I want you to look at those petals and go, wow, I just did an amazing job of colouring some really well textured petals. And they look amazing. I just did an amazing job of my alcohol marker colouring. And I've been doing this for a week and I already look like a pro because I'm amazing. And you could take these elements and you could make them into a card and people would be amazed with your expertise already. Okay? So then you're going to do the same with these back petals. And I think I needed to dry mine slightly longer, but that's okay. So I'm just going to do them all because I'm going to work quickly. So I'm going to colour them all with my base colour. And so this is going to be today's practice. So whatever bud you picked, if you picked a smaller one, maybe do a couple. If you picked this larger one, you could do a couple too. And if I've got black in it, I'm not going to worry because I'm going to cover that up. Or I'm going to call it artistic license of some shadows because that's what you can do. And then we're going to go into our mid shade and we're going to flick around. You see, I'm not doing lots and lots of texture. I'm doing the basic. And the reason I can get away with this is the texture that the vellum will give me because of the reaction with the alcohol markers. So we're not going to get away with this when we get on white paper. Unfortunately, I wish I could because it would be super cool. But this is why I put vellum in your boxes, because I knew you'd get this texture. And it gives you some confidence too, which is awesome. Particularly when we're starting out, because we all love some confidence, you know, whether it's we're cooking a dish and we cook something easy and, you know, it comes out great, or, you know, I know when Greg cooks me something and he's like, this is awesome, I actually managed to cook some dinner and not poison the whole family. So we all need those quick wins. And you see where I've got those layers in between? I'm colouring all of those dark, because what you'll find is that gives you, again, some easy texture. And when we get on paper, we'll be adding different textures, different sorts of extras. I forgot my crinkly lines around the edges, so I'm going back and adding those. So again, I'm just going around. And if you go around the edges, like so there, you see I went over the edge a little bit. Again, I could take my blender pen and I could fix that boo-boo, particularly on vellum, because it's even more forgiving, being a little bit more non-porous. But do you see how by just adding this little crinkly edge that I've been adding, it also adds just that little bit of extra texture in. Just like this. And so there you go. There we have our bloom. And I mean, look how much texture is in that for some really, really simple colouring. It looks beautiful. It's super easy. So I just want you to go and practice those techniques. It's so, so simple. Honestly, you can do this. You are going to be an alcohol marker colouring expert after 14 days. Now, tomorrow we're going to have a live check-in in the group. So check out all the details, the timings, all those kinds of things in the group of how to do that when you add your photo of today and your experiences. I can't wait to hear all about it. I'm super, super excited. I love seeing your leaves yesterday. You're going to be amazed by this technique and how easy it is. And you're going to be buying vellum by the padful. If you want to know what vellum I use, we'll add a link in today's video, because this is a really nice vellum to work with alcohol markers. I tried out lots ready for class, and I found that this was the best one to practice on. So thanks for joining me in class today. I can't wait to see all of you live for the check-in, to answer your questions, all of those kinds of things. And then we'll be back and we're going to be colouring on real paper. We have 2 more practices before we start our final project. How exciting is that? And then we'll have that live special event at the end as well. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you all live tomorrow. Bye, everyone.